Hi everybody, sorry for the disruptance, disturbance, जो भी आप लोग बोलो.
Yeah.
It is getting so cold.
You have my cell phone?
Diet.
But it's a crazy topic, right?
हाँ.
I mean, everybody wants to get out of the rat race and be financially independent, as they say.
Independent. Haha. I think financially independent
Thank
is
you,
a
Ajit.
myth.
Huh?
Financially independent तो myth है, because even if you own the biggest company in the world, your finances will still depend on the number of employees you have. If 10 of your employees decide that I don't want to come today, that day you are going to make less profits. You are never financially independent.
Yeah, that's all okay, but the bigger topic is how to even get to that point where you can think of starting something of your own.
Make connections, build a network, talk a lot to everyone. Even if you think that they are speaking nonsense, just listen to them. Just make conversations.
So if you talk to a lot of people, there is a chance that they may finance your project and somehow.
Maybe, yeah.
But Ajit, just before we left, he made a comment. He said a lot of people are not willing to risk their money and they would prefer to be a slave. And,
because they are fed by the government or by the people who are controlling the matrix. Okay, you will be really happy and stable if you do a job, get married, and live life a certain way, and then make babies, send them to school. We are going to teach them the same things, that you should get a job, and that chain will keep going and going and going until someone decides.
But what you're saying is they are trained to be
slaves. Yep. Everyone. They don't teach us how to get rich in school. They teach us
how
to follow the traffic lights, how to follow, I don't know, like they teach us constitution. They literally teach us the constitution, but they don't teach us how to get rich.
So they teach us how to
be
work
good
for
slaves.
Somebody and how to obey rules.
They teach us how to be good slaves, but they don't teach us how to be. I don't even think they, in a lot of schools, they teach us how to be good humans. Like maybe, like I remember in my school we had this special period called value education, जहाँ पे they used to tell you kindness, friendship, वगैरह वगैरह etc. But I don't think anyone teaches you how to be a good human. I think you just learn it over time, and you fail miserably. Like maybe once in a while you think कि चलो ठीक है, I'm a good human वगैरह, but at the end of the day you are still a selfish person.
But these days everybody is dreaming of infinite money. They think, I'll go live and I'll play a song in the background and I'll shake my head, lip sync that, whatever is going on, and then suddenly it'll have 500 million views and I'll win the election the next day and then I'll own everybody.
Yeah, or maybe they don't even want to win the election. They just want to literally just get rich. They don't want the thing which comes with, they don't want the power which comes with the money. They just want the money and get rid of the managerial roles, or they don't want to take a lot of stress. They just want the money. That's it.
Ajit says, risk है तो इश्क है. मेरा मोटिव यही है. I don't want to do jobs, but हालात मजबूर कर देते हैं to think to do some temporary slavery.
Exactly.
Ajit, we are all in the same boat. हम लोग सब लोग जॉब ही करते हैं. And there's a reason, right? We don't do it by choice.
Yeah.
I mean, who goes to work by choice?
I know there are some people जिनका biggest dream is to work a corporate job.
Biggest dream, SBI cleared.
Yeah.
Ta-da!
It's not SBI AI clerk may be a better one, maybe like, you know, कहीं भी, Facebook,
Guys,
Meta, somewhere.
yeah, Facebook, Meta, and all is okay, but I have seen people like engineers and doctors and whatever, they don't have jobs and they literally stand in queues to get peon level jobs at government banks.
Yeah. True.
So that, how that's crazy, right?
Yep.
I mean, that
I
guy
mean,
went to school and studied a lot of technical detail only to go to a bank and sweep.
yep. And I mean, ऐसे लोगों के लिए जॉब मतलब you can, how many slaves will you hire at the end of the day, like क्या करूं इतने मजदूरों का, मैं मेरे पास इतना काम ही नहीं है, मैं क्यों तुम्हें पैसे दूं. Yeah, even AI, oh my god, shit, AI is like a completely different topic, but I think if I have AI and if I am able to do 10 people's job, yeah, 10 people's work, I can do it from my phone. Why am I, like, why would I even bother to make 10 people's life better? Like, you should be a slave. Like, मेरे यहाँ नहीं तो कहीं और, तुम वहां जाके मजदूरी करो ताकि मैं तुमसे ज्यादा अमीर बनती जाऊं और मैं तुम्हें पीछे छोड़ती जाऊं. And just to make those people feel good once in a while, like to make those environmentalist people feel good, you will maybe run on a, क्या कहते हैं, ट्री प्लांटिंग रन हो गया कभी, या समटाइम्स यू विल डू maybe a speech ऐसे वैसे करके, you will try to fool the people around, and people are stupid because they are slaves, and they will think कि you know, oh हाँ नहीं ये तो सही बात है, हाँ हाँ हाँ, okay, आप अब से हमारे भगवान हो. If not भगवान, like हम आप मतलब सही है यार, सेंसिबल बात बोल रहा है बंदा, और फिर वो लोग जाके उन्हीं की बातें फॉलो करेंगे, and he will, like the person who is sitting at this level will exactly speak those things which they want to hear.
Okay, so now we've heard the problems. People are on the difficult side, and for them to cross the barrier and get onto the other side, of course, there is a lot of hard work and challenge and luck and a lot of other factors that I don't know at the moment. But what would we suggest, or what would we teach ourselves to get out of the slavery as soon as possible?
Maybe just know the purpose of the employer. Try to get as close
See,
as employer.
purpose is obvious. Employer is going to make money off of you.
नहीं, but अंदर वाला purpose, and try to get as many details as you can, and then after a couple of years backstab the employer, and then just not backstab, sorry guys, backstab is quite of a, you know, harsh term, I don't want to use that, neither do I mean it, but I think just kind of like, you know, build something of your own.
So the moment you get hired, don't think of it as
my dream job, wow, thank you, I'm so grateful.
Yeah,
be grateful, obviously, but don't think that this is the ultimatum, or don't think that this is the, like, you have achieved your goal basically.
So from day one, once you are hired, immediately start thinking how to be them.
Yeah.
And
even they ask that question during interview, where do you see yourself in next 5 to 10 years?
But I thought they want to hear right here as your slave said, right here sweeping the floor for you.
Because you have to play with them the same way they play with you. You have to tell them exactly what they want to hear. And that is the thing, no? Like, very less people understand that. Unless you actually dream of being a slave. But apart from that, if you actually want to be something bigger than a slave, something which is beneficial to yourself, maybe wake up, like open your eyes and your ears, and make very strategic moves.
Strategic moves.
Huh.
That's like saying use your bishop in chess.
Yeah.
I had an ex-employee. She would come to work every single day. Like she's a lonely person. Like she don't have no one.
Hmm.
She had so many vacation hours, sick hours saved up. She would show up every single day sharp at 8 o'clock, be on the desk, ready to work.
Hmm.
So I think these type of jobs are for the people who are lonely and don't have anyone.
Yeah, maybe. But I don't think loneliness has much to do with these things, honestly. It's the mentality. Like, imagine if I think, ki, if I'm Elon Musk tweeted or not tweeted, I think he just said it somewhere. I don't remember honestly, but he said that you really wish to be like me, but I bet you cannot live a day. matlab, Nobody wants to. Nobody would like to live as Elon Musk. He's that lonely and that depressed, and it is really difficult to be with a hyper achieving person because they're just so focused and so zoned in and so into their craft that they don't see things around them.
Yeah, that is true, but there are perks to get to that point.
There are folks,
Like
but
you control pretty much anything on the planet if you're at that level, because the government is in your control,
hmm,
and luckily you are in the US. The government is one of the most powerful, which can control pretty much any other country.
right. Ajit says like I don't understand why people need a 1 to year experience for a fresher's job. Like कौन सा नशा फूक के या चार बजे they don't want to give job but they create fake fund. Exactly, I know, right? Like even if it is a freshers level job, they'll be like हमें 1 2 years का experience तो चाहिए ना sir. मतलब कहाँ से लाए ना sir? Like
But
I am applying for a fresher's position. Don't you understand what a fresher means? It means that I don't have experience.
but these days in India, what I've seen is a lot of engineering graduates
Hmm.
are getting fresher jobs, nice paying jobs, or decent paying jobs, but completely out of the industry. They are working night shifts in call centers and things like that. You start off with a good job, I mean, good salary, starting point. Like as an engineer, you would start with 10,000,
Hmm.
and this place is giving you 20,000.
Hmm.
So at that point, you will think, hey, 200% better salary, let's take it. But the pitfall in those situations is, from 20,000 to 30,000 in the call center will take you 5, 6, 7 years.
Yeah.
And engineering job that's starting with 10,000 will suddenly be 1 lakh in 5 years. As
But
you,
I think you need to be very smart for that. Like you cannot stick with one company.
yeah, but see, I mean, that is true. But skills wise, engineering graduates in India are idiots. And I'm sorry if there's any engineer who is watching.
I think
And
Ajit is one.
Ajit, I'm also an engineer from India. The curriculum in India teaches you engineering from the 90s, which is
Hmm.
not relevant at all. Like in electronics engineering, when I was studying in third year and all, they were teaching us processors like 8085 and 8051 microcontroller. Those devices are piece of crap. Like
Hmm.
nobody ever uses those.
But that was when? I think like 10 years ago.
Yeah, that time they were teaching controllers from like 90s.
I think it has changed now. I think because my friends are in college. Like abhi they are in
Hmm.
college and they are, or maybe it actually depends. Like they are learning computers now. They are learning how to build a website, how to do such
They're
things.
learning all that.
Yeah, but I think
That is good.
it also depends on the stream you choose. Like maybe for you you need to know those basics. Like maybe no, for example, even if you don't, if you recently started using an iPhone and if you don't know how the basics of that phone works, you won't be able to customize the phone the way you want. So maybe it's just because like वो चाहते हैं कि आप सोचो कि ये चीज़ कहाँ से चलती आ रही है and then you can modify it with your own brain. Like that's how I look at it.
But for me, I still think engineering curriculum must be updated more frequently than what it is at the moment.
Mm. Yeah.
Because right now, I don't really see any engineers, even in the field.
Hmm.
People who are working. I think engineering has become more of system manager kind of role, where all the systems are set and you are pretty much managing the system. Gone are the days where you would coil, you would wrap a wire and make your own inductor.
Right.
That doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah.
And colleges still teach you all that.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense.
So I think colleges should focus on teaching more uh, applications using the tools that already exist instead of developing the tool themselves.
But if they don't teach you how to develop a tool and just how to use a certain tool, you will never be able to use your brain and create something which is even better than the tool you're using right now. You need to know how to at least create a tool so that आपको पता रहे कि अगर आगे चल के मुझे कुछ करना है, what are the basic principles or what are the foundations I'm supposed to lay before I start building something.
But that won't be necessary. And if it is, then it could be a stream on a different tangent, and it could be a different course where you see
Just how to build.
production or manufacturing engineering, something like
Yeah,
that.
makes sense.
Okay, Ajit says the education system in India teaches us to draw to draw on Microsoft Paint on a computer rather than coding or valuable lesson, basic computer knowledge.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of self-learning involved if you are studying from India. Otherwise,
Self-learning, yes. Even over here, like
Even-
I don't
yeah.
think I don't think people in my college teach me how to build a mailing list. They don't teach me how to what are the apps or what are the websites I'm supposed to connect to run a brand or to do some things. It takes
but they don't, because you don't study those subjects. Maybe in bachelor's marketing they do.
maybe they do, but I think it is still very bookish. It is very bookish or very surface level kind of thing. And I think everything is surface level until you personally decide to go into it, not even career wise or
But should be, because the deeper you go into the books, the more you get inclined towards slavery eventually.
not अरे ऐसे नहीं, like not books, but you decide to deep in the topic just to create something, like purpose अलग रहना चाहिए. If you think कि I am going in, मैं इतनी सारा पढ़ाई करूँ, psychologist for example, like no offense to anyone who is a psychology major or anything, but I personally like the psychologists I have met in my life. They are a headache, like they are literally a headache, and they are literally speaking nonsense. भाई मतलब कुछ भी बोलते हैं यार, चुप हो जाओ.
What if they're watching right now?
Sorry, I already said sorry if sorry if you are a psychology major. I'm not naming anyone, but I have met a couple of people who are studying psychology, and they are like I don't know how their brain functions.
At one point you wanted to be a psychologist.
I know, and I'm glad that I'm not a psychologist or I'm not studying psychology. I think in my case I have been so easy to influence sometimes. Like even अगर मैं कोई movie देख लूँगी, I'll be like, oh, I want to be an air hostess, or maybe I want to be in the navy, or maybe I want to do something. But like I think मुझे तो कभी भी influence करना हमेशा बहुत easy रहा है, and it has taken me so much of self control and so much of building boundaries and building a thick skin
Can I
के
get some water?
building a thick skin के अब मुझे फर्क नहीं पड़ता
क्यों?
नहीं, अब मुझे फर्क नहीं पड़ता सामने वाला क्या बोलता है. I have my standpoint and that is it. मैं नहीं सुनूंगी सामने वाला जो भी बोले. Like even if मैं respect करूंगी, but I won't consider or take it to my heart, because otherwise it's very easy to deviate me from my goal or my mission or my whatever, जो भी बोलो. Do you think you're easy to influence?
I don't think so.
Really? I think you're very easy to influence.
You think so?
Yes. मुझे तो लगता है.
I mean, for you, it may be different than others.
Oh yeah, maybe.
I don't get influenced by an outsider who says, okay, let's do this, so let's go that way, or let's do whatever.
Yeah, maybe for me, just because we have like थोड़ा सा ऐसे emotional touch, तो maybe हाँ चल कर लेते हैं, कोई नहीं. But yeah, okay, maybe.
I don't think outsiders can influence me that much. You think so? No, right?
You have very strong personality. I mean, that cannot be broken. Like, if you make a decision, it cannot be changed.
मेरा तो हो जाता है.
Influence?
Yeah. I really have to, like, if I spend 2 days, even if I spend like 2 hours with someone, and if they tell me ऐसे, मतलब at this point I can say कि चलो I will think a little bit, but I think even a couple months back I was हाँ ठीक है चलो करते हैं, and it has taken a lot of self inner work and a lot of self control कि नहीं, this is what I don't like, and I can say no. I think it also comes from a place that I cannot say no. Like अगर मैं ना बोलूँगी, I will always be taken in another way,
Like you're terrible.
like I'm terrible, or like I don't respect them, or like I don't want to do something, but it's just because मुझे नहीं करना है यार. Like that's it. And a lot of people take no very personally, like oh मुझे कैसे ना बोल दिया ये कर, like it has nothing to do with that person. Like when I say no, I am not thinking about that person इतना सा भी. I'm just thinking about कि मुझे ये चीज़ नहीं करनी है भाई, मतलब it has nothing to do with you, but I don't want to do it, so I won't. I think it takes a lot of work to be in that zone कि आप ना बोलो, and even if you are misunderstood, you will be like भाड़ में जाओ misunderstand करो, but मैं तो नहीं ही करूँगी, because after a point I mean you stop explaining yourself to people. So yeah.
Wow.
Ajit says if you're living in Maharashtra or anywhere in India, oh, he corrected it.
Anywhere
Oh,
in
the chat disappeared?
वो तो थोड़े टाइम में हो
Okay.
यहाँ पे है. Anywhere in India, you have to get a Marwadi friend. It's like getting blessed to conquer this world and get the right mindset. That is correct.
But when you say have a Marwadi friend, are you trying to say they have a very opportunistic mind and they look for business opportunities in anything that they see?
Yes, and they are very sharp. They are very calculative, very sharp, very.
I mean, that's what a lot of people say about Sindhis too.
Yeah, but I think Sindhis are very.
Dumb businessmen.
E-
Like, or not dumb, but I would say very emotionally driven, not data driven.
In that case, I think Punjabis are more emotionally driven.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, they like their
Punjabis.
trucks and whatever, and they want to stick to that business.
Yes, I think, and Sindhis का ऐसा है कि they are also like kind, मतलब वो Punjabis के ही उसमें आते हैं, we are like just a little different from Punjabis, but I think Sindhis are very they still care about how they will be looked at and how they will be considered, and they'll be like हाँ okay and
And I think they are not that driven. I mean, they'll start a business, they'll do something, and uh, they'll make some money. And although there's room to multiply it by 50, I think they immediately settle for whatever they are getting and they just stick to that level. I think they're terrible at scaling it up.
yes, स्टार्ट करना है, एस्टैब्लिश करना है, मोटिवेशन गुड, अच्छा है, बट एक जो हुआ उससे आगे बढ़ाने के उसमें यू नीड अ लॉट ऑफ मे बी पता नहीं करेज, ये वो जो भी बोलो, बट आई somewhere I also think that it comes from a place के Sindhis have never been, they don't have a home, like पहले पाकिस्तान में थे, फिर ये डिवीजन हुआ, उसके बाद पार्टीशन हुआ, उसके बाद दे हैड टू कम ओवर हियर एंड स्टार्ट एवरीथिंग फ्रॉम लिटरली जीरो. एकदम जीरो से सब शुरू किया है. सो मे बी उनके लिए ऐसा है कि यार थोड़ा अच्छा सा पैसा हो रहा है, थोड़ी अच्छी सेविंग हो रही है, okay good, I really don't want more for me and my family.
Because for Sindhis, their generational wealth only goes back to one or at the most two generations.
Yeah.
But for everybody else, their generational wealth could go all the way to 5, 10, whatever generations, you know, whatever time they've lived in India.
Yep, that is true.
But I think Sindhis should get some skills, hopefully in the next few generations, and focus on scaling businesses, because I personally know a lot of Sindhis in business doing well, and they are content, including our own family. Like our mom had a very flourishing business at one point,
Yeah.
and instead of thinking of scaling it up and taking it to the next level, I mean, she was as good as it could get when she was on her peak. And at that point, she never thought of multiplying that level to 5 or 10x.
Because that is the best thing she has ever seen in her life.
Yeah, that is correct. But see
And
what?
I think that's why I think women in business are not a good idea. After a certain point, I think women in business are literally not a good idea, because you will always have an emotional side to the business, and you will never be able to, and I think being a female, there is always some sort of this female guilt which stays with me, कि आज मैंने ये किया तो I was not enough for this person, I was not enough for my business, or I was not enough for my career, ये हो गया वो हो गया, so like this thing always stays. जबकि guys में they are like chill है यार, चल कोई नहीं, आज ये कर लिया, इसको ये करवा दिया, they are very objective, but women are like really subjective people when it, like as a person.
So, in other words, what you're saying is mom would have welcomed some kind of guidance to scale it up.
Yeah.
And she didn't get that.
Maybe, yeah.
Because now that I think of it, she was really ruling that area.
100%. Yep.
And what she really needed was some guidance, possibly some investment to scale it up, and have like 10 other spots like that.
Yep.
And 100 and 1000 and whatever.
That's right. Huh. But yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah. So there is no suitcase of money coming our way.
But
We just
in the first place, you don't even have to expect a suitcase.
see, at some point everybody does.
हाँ, but कहीं ना कहीं ऐसे पता होता है ना कि नहीं यार, मेरे लिए तो नहीं होने वाला है, जो करना है मुझे करना है.
But I think it's still important to roll that dice once in a while. If you are 100% buried in your job and you don't roll that dice, you don't give yourself a 1 in a million chance to get out of the rat race, you never will. As they say, you miss 100% of the shots that you did not take.
Right.
Even
So-
for your generation,
Huh?
even for your next generation. I mean,
Yeah.
if you're doing 9 to 5, how much money will you save?
Yeah, I mean, not much.
Yeah.
At the most, you will leave a house.
Yeah, that's it. Or maybe if you have a life insurance, good amount.
Yeah, and honestly, like, चलो मैं तो like I'm very emotionally centered towards family, children, घर ये वो वगैरह. But I think my boyfriend, he is super driven, and like if I have like he doesn't even मतलब obviously he does, but like for him the only thing which matters is me and him and nobody else. Like not our children, not our grands, because after some time they are going to forget us. Like
Oh yeah, you will be
That's
forgotten
how his
quickly.
mentality too.
yeah,
Like after some time, they won't even recognize your name or face.
I have never met my grandfather. I don't know my great grandfather's name, my great grandmother's name. मुझे नाम भी नहीं पता है. Neither do I think of them in like 10 years. मैंने उनके बारे में कभी एक बार भी नहीं सोचा. And no offense, but it's just because मुझे नहीं याद है. And like it is how life is. So just think only for the two of you. And I think just be as selfish as you can. Literally, just be as selfish as you can, and just make it out of the matrix. And like, maybe if you have like a couple people whom you care about, you can still keep them in the loop and do something for them. But I don't think you should care about the next generation.
Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
like,
I don't think.
huh? Matlab, why would I care if I don't even know who my great grandchild will be, or like who my grandchild will be. I don't even know if I will see their face in my life. And
Yeah. So what I would do is once my doctor tells me, hey, 2 months to go or 6 months to go, immediately, sell your house, get all the money out of your 401k, and then hit the slot machines. Like, do what you want to do, and, in, what's the point of just leaving it and all of a sudden your kids are tough and you don't know what kind of people they are.
I think
People.
there was a story in regards to this. I think there was a person whose report got mixed up in the hospital, and in the report she got, it says that you're gonna die in 1 month. So that person like took lots of loans, sell the house, went on vacation, spent the money, and when she came back, and
She didn't die.
she had lots of debt. So
I think वो तो हमेशा ऐसे ही है ना.
But
मतलब,
if that happens, then she has to make sure the report comes true.
yeah, like a lot
Then
of
she has to go
times.
to the doctor and be like, hey, you gave me this report, I have this disease, and
And
now
I'm
you.
not dead yet.
Yeah. So you
I'm
better
gonna
put
sue you now.
you better put more bacteria in me, and whatever disease it takes to make sure I'm gone. And
नहीं, तो
I
you
would
can
sue
just
the
jump off.
doctor and the
Yeah.
hospital.
oh, Ajit is saying, "Or invest in Lakshmi Cheat Fund." 40 दिन में पैसा डबल 20 दिन में पैसा डबल something like that.
Yeah.
Hey guys, the video quality on the TV is terrible now.
Again, I think it is the internet.
Yeah, I don't know why it's skipping.
Yeah. Do you want to end it?
I think we're pretty much done here, right?
Yeah. 12:30 हो गया वैसे भी.
Okay.
Okay, guys. Thanks for joining our. Oh my God, this is so bad.
What is the one? Quality?
Yeah. What?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Ajit.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody. Ajit and whoever else was in the chat. I didn't even see who else was in the chat. Quality is terrible. Yeah.
Can you close?
But that is it for tonight. We will be back with another topic in the near past because I don't talk about future. So
What the heck is that?
So